weigh in on the yen and the broader role, I suppose, of the yen as we're watching all of the drama around tariff conversations. That, as Guy's saying, was weighing on the dollar. But now we're in a situation where the yen is weaker. Take this into the global context for us.
Well, Anna, in one fell swoop, the Bank of Japan has disbanded the jury of yen bulls. I mean, they not only have they revised lower the outlook for growth, they've also said that it's going to take longer for them to achieve the inflation target. They've pushed it back into fiscal 2027. What does that mean? In concrete terms, it means that real interest rates in Japan are going to stay frozen. They're deeply negative, and therefore there is no incentive for investors to bid up the yen. So what it means is that the dollar yen part of the trajectory is going to be dictated by the dollar side of the equation rather than anything coming from the yen side of the equation. And therefore, I think that the yen is going to be vulnerable in the coming weeks, but even so, I think that any declines are going to be measured. We are not going to see the yen go back to 153 levels anytime soon, just because the BOJ is not going to raise rates. But the fact is, real rates have improved, even though they are still negative. They have improved in favor of the yen, and therefore that's going to put some kind of a floor on the yen. But as we discussed yesterday, the dollar is kind of oversold at these levels. And I think that, if a mean reversion theme would get the dollar back up. So I think that, in net, we are looking at some kind of weakness in the yen, but not a whole lot.
If the dollar is strengthening against the yen, does it strengthen against the basket? Does it strengthen against the euro or the pound, for instance, then?
Yes, I think it's going to strengthen against the euro and the pound as well. The pound in particular is kind of overbought. The pound's levels at around 134 is completely incongruent with what's going on with the UK economy, Guy. I mean, we know that productivity is in a funk. The economy is sputtering. Real estate prices are tanking. And inflation is still elevated relative to the BOE's target. And that inflation has been chipping away at the purchasing power of the pound. So at 134 levels against the dollar, the pound is hugely overvalued and mispriced. And I think that misprice is waiting for a correction. And that correction will come when the dollar bounces back to its reversion. And I expect that to happen sooner rather than later.
Ben, when we're talking about kind of the haven bids across varying currencies, whether that's Europe, whether it's the dollar, whether it's the yen, where does the Swiss franc fall into all of that?
Well, I think the Swiss franc is going to be very well bid, and I think that it's been a stunning outperformer, notwithstanding the fact that the S&P is not going to like that strength. But the fact is, while the Swiss franc has appreciated a whole lot against the US dollar, its appreciation against the euro has been more nominal, more or less subdued, and therefore I think that the franc is going to continue appreciating, and that's going to pose a headache for the S&P in the coming days. And I think that they may not hesitate to take rates into negative territory. Already in June, they are going to probably go into zero bound, and I think further down we'll have to see what inflation happens.